Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. This is a show about baseball, when in season, but it's not always baseball season. I am your host, and we are broadcasting high above Civic Center Station in downtown Atlanta. And tonight, class is in session. There are four guests here to answer questions from the University of Dope, a disrespectful game for hip hop lovers, because your favorite rapper is trash. And I've got four people here to back me up now. We'll go around the room in alphabetical order with where you are talking to us from, because your names are visible, and your favorite track on the Jay-Z debut album, Reasonable Doubt. So alphabetically speaking, that starts with you, Ed.
How you doing? My name's Angelina. I'm calling from Brooklyn, and actually favorite Jay-Z song on off that first album, I would say "Can I Live."
Okay. Chris.
Sorry. Oh God, my cell phone's ringing. I'm that guy. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I ruined the podcast already.
No, but you can answer the question.
Yes, I'm Chris. I'm calling in from Hackensack, New Jersey. My favorite track on Reasonable Doubt. It has to go with the two Brooklyn boys, and that's Brooklyn's Finest with Biggie and Jay-Z.
Okay. Ngozi.
Yeah, my name is Ngozi, comedian over here, stand-up comic, and I think my favorite songs probably The Evils. I honestly thought someone was gonna say what's it called, Dead Presidents, you know? Yeah, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna be different. I'm not gonna say that, but all y'all said something else. I was like, what the fuck? All right, so yeah, so I mean, The Evils, love Dead Presidents too.
Sean.
Hey, yeah, I'm calling from Atlanta, and yeah, everybody kind of took some, so I'm gonna go with and I'll be the mainstream dude. Ain't no.
My answer is actually Regrets, the last track on the
Last
album.
track, yeah.
Actually love that song. So there are each question that we'll be playing has four choices. Each scholar, as you've seen, already has their answer or should already have their answer to the question. And after the tally is done, anybody in the minority will have a chance to defend their selection. After they have their say, those in majority will choose someone to explain why they're wrong and debate until a consensus is determined for a final answer. So we are going to try to have a final answer for each one of these questions. Sound simple? All right, so let's
Yeah.
start class. The first question is connected to the introduction, which was the best Jay-Z album. A, Reasonable Doubt. B, The Blueprint. C, Volume 2, Hard Knock Life. Or D, 444. I'll go backwards in alphabetical. So Rashawn, what's your choice?
I'm gonna go with Blueprint.
Okay, Blueprint. And Ngozi?
I gotta go with Reasonable Doubt.
All right. Chris?
I'm going with Blueprint.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Ed?
Reasonable Doubt.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Well,
You should have an odd number of panelists, sir.
well, I am the tiebreaker. I am the
Okay.
tiebreaker in this, and as the tiebreaker, Reasonable Doubt's his best album. That's Reasonable Doubt's his best album. So I put it to the minority. Explain to me why the Blueprint is better than, or the Blueprint is his best album. Ed, Chris, which one of you would like to take the first volley at this?
Why I mean, I went with Reasonable Doubt. I
Yeah,
just,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it was
yeah.
Chris and I.
Yes. So I'm looking at the screen wrong. So Rashawn, well, Chris, you've been sitting, so you want to explain or you want to let Rashawn go?
No, I'll explain. You know what? I knew this was going to come down to it, and I kind of thought of it like this: is Martin? We say this podcast about baseball. right? Reasonable Doubt, he's Rookie of the Year, right?
Okay.
Blueprint, he's the MVP of the league. He's 5, 6, 7 years in. He hits his peak lyrically, production wise, with a young Kanye West. I think having Eminem on the track Renegade at Eminem's height of his popularity. This is Blueprint's MVP season. Reasonable Doubt's his Rookie of the Year.
Rashawn, you want to try and add to it? Because I can blast back immediately, but go ahead, Rashawn.
Oh, I mean, okay, so Blueprint got 5 mics. Reasonable Doubt did not. He mentioned Kanye, Just Blaze, Timbaland, Trackmasters, all producers on that. And of course it went double platinum, like most of his first albums did. So
Okay, so would anyone else in the majority like to explain why they're wrong?
I mean, to me, Jay-Z has a line. I think it was in the Black Album. You got to treat your first like your last and your last like your first. That's his first. He wasn't sure if there was going to be a second. I mean, he would have washed his money some other way. But it's a lot like a rock band, how when you drop your first album, it's got that grittiness, it's got that hunger, or a way like a boxer or MMA fighter on the come up. You just see the hunger of wanting, you know what I mean? Like you don't know if there's another tomorrow as far as your career. And whereas with the other album, he's polished. It's like Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. It's his it's very opulent. It's great. Don't get it twisted. And I'll even give it this, production wise, it is better than because he got the best of the best in the up and coming of that era. I don't dispute that. But again, it's the grittiness, it's the hunger, it's more authentic. When he's talking about the drug game at that point, it's more authentic and coming from a place of reality as opposed to, well, I'm a millionaire selling the illusion. And there's nothing wrong with the illusion. It's a dope illusion. Love the illusion. But I just think that first album, my first like my last and my last like my first.
Would you like to explain some more? I was going to say, I'll explain really quickly. You mentioned Renegade with Eminem, and that's the problem with most of Jay-Z's period, especially Blueprint. Other people are better on his tracks. Like Eminem wins that track. That's an Eminem track with Jay-Z on it. It's on a Jay-Z album. It happens on Reasonable Doubt too, but it's like he gets beat by like Biggie. So it's like, and even that's like questionable. That's me. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, well, for me, the reason I chose it was because, okay, so historically, I got into hip hop kind of late. I got into it in high school. Before that, I was listening to Christian rock. I was a good Christian boy, doing that, and then I got into hip hop in high school, and I tried to get into Jay-Z like throughout the whole time. Everybody loves him. I couldn't. I listened to Blueprint. I was like, yeah, some songs I hear are good, but Reasonable Doubt, I listened to that, and I was like, oh, like that changed my perspective on Jay-Z. So that's to me is like a personal thing. Like, and then like everybody like talks about, dead presidents and Cashmere Thoughts has been on my mind like since I was a kid. Like I was like, oh my God, this the Evils. Honestly, I kind of wish the Black Album was on this list.
Me too. That's my favorite album.
That's
my favorite. Yeah.
That's my favorite album. And I would have said that. And I was like, I keep on thinking of the Evils, from Black Album. And I was like, oh, it's from Reasonable Doubt. I forgot about that.
No, yeah. The Evils is in Reasonable Doubt. You might be thinking of Lucifer, because that's the one
that's
with
on
Kanye.
Black Album. Yeah,
Lucifer.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
The thing is, do I think even if you put the Black Album in the equation, to me, the Reasonable Doubt,
the Black Album is not in this conversation. The Black Album is not on the list. Reasonable Doubt and the Blueprint is what we're talking, because that's the sections that were made.
I'm just saying, no matter what, I would go with Reasonable Doubt. Even put the whole catalog, I would put Reasonable Doubt.
Can I nominate Ed Molina for President of the United States? Here's why: because he actually, I think, convinced me with the way he framed his argument. And I'll go off on a complete tangent, but quickly, I'm a Bruce Springsteen fan. Okay.
Mhm.
Bruce Springsteen's most popular album, biggest selling album of all time, is Born in the USA.
Mhm.
But Born to Run 10 years earlier is the way better album. And Born to Run was, if you don't know the history of Springsteen, it was his third record in his 3-record deal, and his first 2 records didn't sell diddly poo. And they basically said, like, if
Was
this
his
one doesn't
last.
sell, you're out of here, pal.
Yeah.
And he
So
made
he
the
got his
album and
best.
appeared on the cover of News and Time Week in the same week, and that launched him. So I think it goes to like Ed's, like, it's that grittiness, it's that desperation, that you hear. It's Sylvester Stallone writing Rocky and saying, I have to play Rocky. So that was
If
a
that's
great argument by Ed.
that's 4-1. Are you willing to concede, Rashawn, and let us move on?
No. No, we can move on. I mean, they're both great albums. I personally like to see somebody at the top of their game with on their stuff, track after track, hit after hit. Let's do it. So that's where I am. I like dynasties. Maybe I'm something of a bygone era, but I like people, teams who are good and at their best.
Excellence. Consistent excellence.
Yep.
Uh,
But we can move on, Mark, please.
Yes.
All right. So the answer to that then is Reasonable Doubt is, of the 4, Reasonable Doubt's the best of those Jay-Z albums. The next question is rappers as influence. I already looked at this going, this is a perfect card to come after it. And you've already mentioned it, Chris, which is rappers that got killed on their own track. Monster, the victim being Kanye West, because Nicki Minaj is the murderer. B, Control, the victim being Big Sean, because Kendrick Lamar murders him on the track. C, Renegade by Jay-Z, where Eminem murders him on the track. Or D, Rampage, the victim being EPMD, murdered by LL Cool J on that track. I'm just gonna go left to right. So Ed.
Actually, I'm gonna go with Monster. I felt Nicki Minaj. I when I first heard that verse, I was like, "Holy crap, who's this?" That was my reaction, and I felt like, I don't know if it was ghostwritten or not, but I just felt she had the strongest verse. Actually, her and Rick Ross, they both outshined Kanye. Kanye was, and Jay-Z's line, even verse was sorry.
Rashawn of the 4.
Renegade.
Yeah. Ngozi.
Control. Easily.
Chris.
Renegade.
Okay. So
Oh gosh.
Renegade's the majority, right? Because I've got 2 that are saying.
Well, is it? You're the tiebreaker?
Oh wait, no, because
no, it's 2 to 1, right?
Yeah, it's 2 and 1. So Ngozi, I'm very curious because I'm sitting there going, I don't remember this song. So explain to me why Kendrick trashing Big Sean on Control is the one.
Well, I re-listened to all of them today, actually, and to me, when I listen to Renegade, when I listen to, I forget the other, A Monster, I was like, these are just good songs with people, like, it's a good song. Everybody's like playing along with each other. I never liked in hip hop whenever we said Renegade, oh, he beat Jay-Z. I was like, they played off each other really well. Like it was a fun song. Same thing with Monster. I was like, Nicki Minaj, she came up, she killed it because she was with other monsters on the track. I have to do my best. I have to kill this. And she did, Control, that was Big Sean, Kendrick, and I literally forgot Jay Electronica was on the song. And I don't know why.
Good reason.
Yeah. When I listened to the song, I was like, who else is on it? Is it? Oh, Jay Electronica. I was like, it overshadowed too much. Like honestly, a part of me was like, I don't even know why Kendrick did that. There was no need to do that on that album, on that song. It kind of felt like and I'll concede my time in 30 seconds.
you're describing
Yeah.
a murder is the whole point. Someone got
Yeah.
murdered on a track. It's just like you didn't need to do that anymore. Why?
It just like why do you like attack everybody? He wasn't even attacking. He was just saying I'm better than all y'all. But this is hip hop. This is what we do. And then Jay Electronica just had
You know
this
what?
weak
Ngozi won me
verse.
over. You know what? He won me over. Just
Yeah.
I love a good petty story. So
Yeah.
So if I'm right, then that puts 2 in as Control and then 2 at Renegade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys say about Renegade?
Well, I was going to say, Rashawn, Chris, you want to explain to them why Renegade's better? Why you guys were in the majority for a second?
The majority for a second. Go ahead, Chris.
The real answer to this question is Busta Rhymes on Scenario, but
Well, once again,
that's the real
Busta
answer.
Rhymes was not an option
Right.
for this.
I just think, I mean, at that time, when it's recorded too, when it comes out, it's Eminem at when he was the best thing out there at that time. I mean, you bring Eminem on your track to dominate your track. Like, you're not bringing him on to pal around. You're bringing him on because you're like, I want everyone to listen to this. Jay-Z could have made fart noises. It wouldn't have mattered. Everyone was going to listen to it. It was going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, and I think M did a good job of explaining through his verses why he was a renegade. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what I'm rebelling against. You fuckers tried drugs too. So I think, yeah, besides the fact that, again, top of his game at the time, and he's always been good lyrically. So, I mean, him putting together his verses and like making you think and go, oh yeah, that's right. I think that's why he killed the track. So.
Ed Ngozi can no counter or anything like that, or
I do have a counter. I feel like people I don't know if can we cuss? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bleep
I was
that
gonna
part.
say the reason why people poop on Jay-Z in that verse is because their styles are very different. And so like Jay-Z's doing what he's doing a really good job, And then like Eminem, he has that chopper flow, like he's like he's stylistically different. And so people are like, oh, that style. Jay-Z, you're so slow. Look at him. Like he's so versatile. But like, it's just them doing the best of what they do, and it's a fun song, Like Logic. I don't know if you know Logic. He did a song with Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
They have a similar style, so they complemented each other very well.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Busta
kind of like
and Eminem had a great song together too.
who?
Busta and Eminem had a great song where
Exactly.
they were just speed rapping. It was
It's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah, and then just Jay-Z was doing that with Eminem. It's like, oh, he took over your track. It's like, no, he's doing what he does. He did what he did, and it's a beautiful.
It just flowed better with that beat. He just had a way of writing that beat better than Jay.
He did write the beat better, yeah.
It's not that Jay had bad lyrics. I mean, again, it's two titans at the time at the peak, like as they had mentioned. So, but
Sure.
I kind of agree that there's an element of hip hop where I don't like Captain Play Along or the Get Along Gang. So I like the petty. I'm sold on the petty.
Yeah.
Can I just add that Kendrick is not in the same class as those two people on this track?
I thought we were going to talk about that at some point,
Yeah.
which is
I
at the
mean,
very least. Big Sean.
We might need a young person in here to
the first time I
defend
thought about
Kendrick.
Big Sean. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
I'm
no,
31. I could defend Kendrick.
Okay.
Oh, it's
No,
not defending Kendrick.
I'm not dragging on Kendrick. I'm saying that the other two were like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a real rapper that's coming on the track.
Basically, the other people that weren't Kendrick on the track, basically.
Sure.
Yeah, you were on Kendrick's track. Oh, it was on my album. Yeah, you were on Kendrick's track.
Yeah, you were on Kendrick's track, right?
Like
yeah.
As soon as he started rapping, like everything else didn't matter. Like you said, you forgot the other guy was even on the track.
Yeah. It was fun.
Like,
and it was funny too, because the intro to his verse was like, it had that like that reverb. I'll smoke crack, I sell it. Like I was like, oh my! And this is the beginning, the intro to his verse. That's a weird beginning to his verse. Big Sean's like, oh my, what? No. Like, he
I'm
just,
sure he just left the studio. He was like, Shh.
I'm about to
What else
get
can you
bodied.
do? So is everybody stuck and staying on where they are? We got 2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you figure it out, host boy.
I will figure to move on then. That's because there's nothing more to it. All I
2-2.
will say is, as far as styles, uh, Royce the 5'9" can go fast with Eminem or slow enough with Jay-Z and everything like that, and does it well on either side. But that's neither here nor there.
He was not on
The
the card.
he was not on
Yeah.
he was not on the card. He was not on the card. So
Got him.
he was the question. The next question is, since yeah, back. If you could reinstate one of these rappers back into hip hop, because they've all passed on. A, Guru, B, Nipsey Hussle, C, Nate Dogg, or D, Big Pun. Run back left to right, I guess, on my screen. So Chris
Guru.
Ngozi.
This is a tough one for me. I'm going with Nipsey Hussle, but we'll get into that, I guess, when we talk.
All right, so Guru, Nipsey Hussle, Rashawn,
Guru.
Guru, Ed,
Guru.
yeah,
All right, and go.
Ngozi. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
This is
And
definitely
this
young
is-
versus old here, I think.
So yeah, it is. This is gonna be very brief. I was gonna say Guru because when I got into hip hop when I was a kid, I got into Guru. I loved Guru. He was my guy. I was like, oh my goodness, I eventually got into Nipsey Hussle. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Nipsey Hussle. I was when I was a kid. Eventually, I transitioned out of that. But if we're talking about like hip hop, if we're talking about like modern day, talking about rap right now, I'll be more interested to see Nipsey Hussle keep going right now. Right now, we would see Guru as an old man in the sense of KRS-One. We don't really talk about KRS-One right now,
Yeah.
And I rock him. We don't talk about any of them, So Nipsey Hussle's contemporary. I kind of want to see where else he would have gone right now,
Yeah.
But you guys probably had a similar sentiment when you're, my age or something, at that time. So
Anybody want to explain why, if you could bring Guru back, what that would have done for hip hop?
Well, I don't know if it would have done. I
Anything.
think
But why
Ngozi.
you would want Guru back?
Well,
Yeah.
I think Ngozi makes a good point
Mm-hmm.
that Nipsey Hussle was still in his career. Guru necessarily wouldn't. I mean, yeah, people are active, but Guru's the best rapper of those four people. That's why I said Guru.
yeah.
Okay. Ed, Rashawn, similar? Anything?
Actually, with me, I actually got into Nipsey Hussle during the lockdowns. That's when I started kind of deep diving into different stuff. So I I really, really, really like Nipsey Hussle. And I could see if I were younger, I get it. But I think with me, with Guru, it's not only that he could do street stuff or he could do the backpack stuff. He could do a storytell like JFK to LAX, right? He's telling the story about his trial. He could do what dating myself, 94, sorry, 1990, my football team used to come out to get a rep. He could do the gangster stuff. But when I got to college, my roommate introduced me to jazz. I'll make it real quick. He introduced me to jazz. And while I was listening to Miles Davis, I also listened to Jazz in the Town. And that just blew my mind. And so why would I want to see Guru live? Because I want to see what he could do with the beats of today with the Metro booming, with Khaled. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I want to see Guru. He was that dude that evolved. And that's why I would love to see what he could do with a Scott Storch or something like that. That's why I would pick Guru.
Yeah.
Is that enough to bring you the majority?
No, technically, but I totally. If you want to hear Guru right now, he had a song with J. Cole, and DJ Premier, I think a couple years ago. That was really dope, and so that made me happy to see.
All right. Well, Your happiness is a good place to kind of close this on so we can keep
Yeah.
everything as well as possible. I'd like to thank everybody, but we close here with a trivia question. And since we started and talked a lot about Jay-Z, it's only right that we finish with Foxy Brown. So I would, we were talking about getting murdered on a track before. I could argue that she outshines Jay on Ain't No Nigga, but we it in terms of the same, that was her coming at it at her absolute best because she knew she had to come out with something, and she came out with fire, and that's about probably her best verse in her career. But I could ask you about how long. Wikipedia says she was engaged to Corrupt from the Dog Pound, 2 years, or how many days of solitary confinement she got in 2007 after a physical altercation with another prisoner, 76. But here's something easier. Il Nana, her first album, went platinum within 3 months of its release in November of 1996. How many albums did it sell in its first week? Is the number I'm looking for. Ed, it's how many albums did Foxy Brown's first album, Il Nana, sell in its first week?
500K, Happy Meal.
So you're saying it went gold first
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Okay. Rashawn?
No, I'm gonna go with Ed. That sounds about right.
All right. Ngozi?
I don't know her music like that, so I'm gonna just say 200K.
Okay.
I don't know.
Chris?
$1, Bob.
So one cop.
$1. I don't want to go
Okay,
over.
we are playing Price is Right rules. So the trivia answer will be in the description for the next episode. I'd like to thank everybody here for participating in class today. I hope they successfully find their way home. The same sentiment I have for any and all listeners. I'll return to my home now. I'm already there. And thank everybody for listening. Thank you all for coming out. End of class. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you.